Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is a nice hot day in Arkansas. It's so hot out here, y'all. I have to put blackout curtains in my room just because like the heat, but then I have to lift them up because I need like a little sunlight. I was like, let's get cute because I've been in a funk for like the past few days just because I'm like I've just been so tired. I don't know why, but I've also had like the craziest headache. Just trying to relax, and I woke up with a nosebleed. Y'all, it was like just so much stuff hit me this morning. But I was like, I want to get cute. I want to do my listen to some stories, talk about some crime today, because that's what we're doing. We're talking about the disappearance of Cleashindra Hall. If you don't know who this is the woman. It kind of hit home for me because I'm from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. You know what? Realistically, y'all, I don't like to say it. I don't like to say I'm from Pine Bluff because it's the city is just so blah. It's a bad place, okay? But it didn't used to all look like that. My mom always tell me stories about Pine, like what it used to look like, and it seems so unrealistic because of the way it is now. Yeah, Pine Bluff, Arkansas has been known like the #1 place in Arkansas you do not want to ever live. I think it's also one of the most dangerous cities in the world. It's probably number 3, probably number 1. Like, it's that bad, y'all. It's like no signs of life there. But there's like older people that still stay there who retired, and you know, it's cheap, so they don't plan on moving. But it's a lot of gang activity, a lot of dumb activity, and it's nothing there. So I was born there. We left to Georgia a long time ago, came back, and then we ended up moving in Little Rock after my grandmother passed away. So I still go down there to go see my other grandma and my family because all my family members are down there. But my mom, her kids, were all up here, and I have sisters in Georgia. So that's where we are right now. Now, this case, I say it hits home because Cleashindra, aka Clea, she was from Pine Bluff. She went to Watson Chapel. I know where that is. My mom always told me stories about this case, and I'm like, who is this to you guys? Because I believe they say, you know, I don't know if she's like blood, but I know a lot of my family members knows of her and knows her. And my mom was like, during that time, this was in 1996. By the way, she went missing on May 9th, 1996. My mom said everybody knew of it. My grandma, everybody knew of this case, and they always told me what everybody believes, what her moms believe, what her mother believes, the missing girl, what her mother believes. She was only 18 years old. Everybody talks about this case in Pine Bluff because it's unsolved, it's cold. But something that's interesting about this, her mother still believes to this day, who I'm gonna tell y'all later, well soon, she believes she know who it is, but there's just nothing else to go on, so it became a cold case. And she, till this day, she still released balloons on the anniversary on May 9th, which actually just passed. She released balloons every year. She still has like posters and stickers all on her yard about it. She would never stop talking about this case until she get justice. And it's so heartbreaking when you don't get justice for like cold cases, because she just vanished off the like face of the earth. Her story was on documentaries, on like the missing people documentaries, and this is my first time actually like learning deep about the case, and I'm sharing the screen with y'all because I'm not at that moment yet where I can just like tell the story completely like to you guys. I feel like I can, but I'm gonna share the story because I'm gonna stop, break it out, we're gonna break it down, talk about it. I'm curious about it, so like I skimmed through it, but I'm like, I really want to like get deep with them with you guys, so we're gonna learn about this together. I learned a lot while researching too. I also found a website that also talks about her case, and one of the websites actually breaks everything down with evidence and everything. That's what I'm talking about with you guys. But another website is about missing black women, and if y'all hear huffing, that's my dog back here and my cat. I got like a lot of people in here, a lot of animals. But there's a website called Our Black Girls. I will leave leave it all in the description, and it talks about it's Our Black Girls, all missing black women, because they don't, you know, police, they let them go cold. And there are a lot of cold cases on black women, black kids, like black children, black babies that's missing, women who just vanished, who kind of believe just been kidnapped or just ran away. It's just so much mystery, and this case is a mystery. Nobody knows where she went. Last call was at 8:15 p.m. and then nothing. So what happened to her? It's been 30 years. This year it has been 30 years since she's been missing. That's a long time. And I always feel sad for, like, cold cases are so sad. I do know the police just solved one from like the 1960s or something. I'm just like, wow. But I will put a picture up what Cleashindra Hall looked like. She's beautiful. She was a senior in high school. She got accepted to Texas State University to become a pediatrician. She was valedictorian, and she was supposed to graduate 2 weeks after her disappearance. So it's just it's always so sad, like, stuff like this happens. She has so many things going for her, and it was all taken away, and nobody knows why, nobody knows who, nobody knows where. But there are theories on this case, y'all. So I'm going to share the screen with y'all. I think I did a good introduction a little bit, y'all. It was kind of long, 6 minutes, but you know what, I'm not mad at it. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen with y'all, so let's get into it. I'm going to start off with the backstory on our black girls, okay? We're going to share the screen, I'm going to read off that, and we're going to talk about it, and just talk about black women missing in general, okay? So I'm going to share the screen right now. And by the way, y'all, she disappeared in 1994. Need to clear that up. Did not want to get that wrong. I apologize for that. So this is the website. It's called Our Black Girls, and they, like I said, they focus on the missing black women. Her story is on here, y'all. This whole article, by the way, is written by Erica Marie. Give the props to her. So let's read about this, okay? So this is her, and y'all showed y'all a picture of her, by the way. So Cleashindra Hall, 18 years old, leaves job in 1994 and disappears from Arkansas. This is gonna do just a little backstory about her, so I want to read it to you guys, okay? So a teen had a life filled with possibilities before her name, before the subject of decades-long mystery. Cleashindra Hall, 18, was said to have been extremely close with her relatives and 2 weeks away from graduating from Watson Chapel High School in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Further, she was poised to attend Tennessee State University, where she had been accepted into the pre-med program. She was ready to receive her diploma with top honors and was slated to deliver a speech at graduation. If that wasn't enough, Cleashindra already had an internship lined up at a Boston pediatrician's office. The teen also had a job after school working with a man named Dr. Larry Amos, who helped with daycare centers that ran out of people's homes. Y'all, first of all, this girl was really freaking smart. It's like black excellence at its finest, pre-med, had so much going for her, valedictorian. It's always so sad when stuff like this happened. It's just people who, it's just really sad that people go missing in general. You be like, not just black people, but just anybody in general who has, like, no, not just, I'm just saying anybody, but like those who, they just had so much going for them, and she was definitely one of them. But anybody who goes missing. So this is all about a doctor. It's obviously gonna talk about them throughout this article, but that is because, let me gonna say that his name is Dr. Amos. This is because, and I'm trying not to be all over the place, because I'm just reading like the facts and evidence from this and theories, because it's all alleged, nothing has been proven. So she had a boss named Dr. Amos. That's he's the main suspect in this, because she was last seen in his house. That's what this is, because I'm going to get into it, and that's what they're going to be talking about. Okay, y'all, so let's read it. So her last known moments. Dr. Amos' office was reportedly in home business, and I'm gonna show y'all a picture of his home, and his office was on top of the garage, so that's his home. And Cleashindra did administrative work for him. On May 9th, 1994, it seemed like any other work day for Cleashindra, and she has been working there for a year, by the way. And around 8 p.m., she called her mother, Laurel Hall, asking if anyone had tried calling her at home. Her mother told her no. She said she would call her mother back once she clocked out her shift at 8:30. She usually received a ride from the Doctor's Fawcett Road home office back to her residence from one of her family members. By the way, she lived, I believe it was like down the street, very close to, like, it was not far at all from her home to the office. As her mother waited for her daughter to call, she fell asleep and she overslept, and she woke up, it was 1 a.m. She hadn't contacted her. She quickly phoned the doctors in panic. He claimed that she left around 8:30, which is when her shift ended, and her ride showed up. So he reportedly saw her enter a vehicle but couldn't describe the car or the person behind the wheel. However, Clea allegedly told one of her co-workers that she was walking home. That was out of the ordinary. I thought it was weird when I read that, because I'm like, and we're just getting right into it. I thought it was weird because I'm like, normally when somebody leaves, I think anybody getting nosy. At first, I was like, okay, why would you not watch her walk outside? But I'm like, she was 18 years old. But it's just weird. I don't trust doctor offices in the homes anyway. But my mom was like, kind of think of it how like the Cosby Show was. He had a home office. He had like an assistant or something. I was like, okay, but I still think it's creepy. But I'm like, it was daycare work. Why is daycare work happening at nighttime? But you know what, any other business. Also need to mention that, because they're going to say it on the main evidence when I say it, her mother used to, like, she picked her up. She normally wait outside for her, outside the garage, and she never knocked on the door. Her daughter always looked outside and knew her mom was out there, so she would go there. Her mom also, really interesting fact, has never seen inside this home. Till this day, she has never seen inside this home. And I feel like I would not be comfortable with my child. Like I said, my mom was like, well, his office was in his home, so she kind of get it. But I'm like, for my safety, I would have to know what this home looked like. I would need to walk in with my child if I'm gonna let her stay at somebody's house working. That's just me though. So yeah, and it's crazy, y'all. 30 years later, like till this day, her mom has never seen it. Her mom or father has never seen inside that home. By the way, Dr. Amos, he is still alive, I believe. And crazy facts I'm gonna tell y'all after that, but let's get through to this case, okay? So this is, and I quote, this is what the mother said: when my family gets together for Mother's Day, we all think about her. My grandchildren will always ask, where is Aunt Clea? And I get tears in my eyes because I don't know the answer. So concern grows as the time passes, because it was so quick. And I'm going to talk about that when we get on the other room, okay, guys? So a call to a boy that Cleashindra liked, often referred to her as boyfriend in reports, didn't seem to aid in solving the mystery, because he claimed that he didn't know where she was and hadn't seen her. There was hardly worry, but when it was learned that Cleashindra didn't make it to school the following day and missed band practice, it was clear that something was terribly wrong. By the way, she was in band at Watson Chapel with one of her three brothers. She was the only girl in this family. And you know, I always wished I had a brother, but I'm like, do I? Because I have 5 sisters, y'all. I just can't imagine what it is with boys. I just feel like it would be so different. We all acted like boys, but I had 2 sisters that was in band. They went to Dalloway High though. None of my family went to Watson Chapel. I do know where that's at, but I graduated from Dalloway High. My 2 sisters my younger sisters graduated from Dalloway High. They was in band. So it has been stated that the teen was not the type to walk away from her family or leave without notification. She didn't have a history of running away and didn't have personal belongings with her at the time, including her driver's license or purse. Even if she stayed out past curfew, Cleashindra would still check in with her parents to ensure she had the permission. She had a mobile phone, but it wasn't with her when she vanished. This is her mother. Clea was so excited to go to college. She was playing with children, and it was her dream to become a pediatrician. Almost 24 hours after the mother spoke with her daughter on the phone, she called the police to file a missing report. However, because Cleashindra Hall was 18, the authorities would not do anything. To them, the teen was a legal adult. Cleashindra's frightened family was forced to wait an additional 24 hours before their concerns were taken seriously. They created their own flyers that pounded the pavement around Pine Bluff, searching for answers. And I'm not a fan of that either. I don't understand why people, I'm like, if like 24, so much stuff can happen in 24 hours, and for the police to always say you have to wait 24 hours to see what happens, I'm like, this is somebody's child. Even no matter if she's 18, she's in high school. And I'm like, obviously if they say it's out of the norm, I think they should still check. You know what, they do I think cops are part of the problem, because I'm like, they just don't want to look. Yeah, some people run away, but some people don't. This girl had everything going for her, and they said it was out of the like norm. That's not normal for them. So I think they should have looked at that. But they always say 24 hours. So much stuff can happen in 24 hours. They do that with kids. They're like, wait 24 hours for kids because they could possibly have ran away. Why do they think everybody just run away, y'all? And it's like, probably 1% that actually run away. It's always something else, and they always take too long, and they always wait to the last minute till something go wrong. And they need to fix that problem. I've never been a fan of that. Now we have, this is toward the end of this article, and like I said, I have another one for you guys, and that is the age picture of what she would look like today. Black don't crack, and she would literally look just like that. So this is the information that they have, okay, y'all? Police reportedly did question Dr. Amos, who was her boss, and while the results of that conversation are unknown to the public, it was noted by the Charlie Project that he refused to take a polygraph test 17 years later. 17 years after she disappeared in 2011, the doctor's home was searched when police executed a warrant. They took portions of drywall from an examination, but they found nothing linking him to her disappearance. The boy she was to have liked the reportedly questioned by investigators, and his property was searched. Still, there was no evidence that he had anything to do with the disappearance. He did agree to take a polygraph test, but his results was reportedly inconclusive. Her mother has theories, okay, guys? So expectantly, theories about what may have happened to her have unfolded in the decades since she vanished. And I'm gonna tell you guys my mother's theory too. Some believe she walked home while and was kidnapped. Others think she left work with someone she knew and was harmed. All seem to agree that the team met with foul play. L'Oreal, the mother, told Dateline that she was still suspicious of Dr. Amos because immediately after she went missing, he reportedly left town on a business trip. AKA, this is what she said: "I don't think he has done enough to eliminate himself as a suspect," she said. In another interview, shared by CNN, she added, "I don't understand why police could not search the home immediately to make sure that there were no signs of struggle." No sign of struggle there. Maybe they wouldn't have found her press-on nails or her hair extensions there. Who knows? And y'all, they say a mother always knows, but I'm also like that. Why not search his property? And it's crazy because it's like you don't have no evidence. So, and he's not letting anybody search it. He has like. Everybody, y'all, this is like one of the most hated men in Pine Bluff. Everybody still hates this man. They all know where he lived. They all believe he done it. That's what this is, okay? My mom says she believes, she knows that he did it. I'm like, everybody just say that they know he's part of it or he has something to hide. This is what the mother wants everyone to know. At the time of her disappearance, Clea stood 5'8", tall, and weighed 120 pounds. She has dark brown hair and brown eyes. Her nickname is Clea, and her middle name is Denise. Cleashindra has a surgical scar on the outside of her right knee, and one of her front teeth is slightly chipped. Her ears are pierced, and the Doe Network reports that her dental records and DNA are all on file. However, her fingerprints are not. Cleashindra was last seen wearing white shirts and short set with a navy blue polka dotted pattern on one side and stripes on the other, white socks and white athletic shoes. And they did have it, like I said, on I don't know who figured those, but they did have it on unsolved, guys. So why, y'all? It's just, that's basically an overview of what we're about to get into. The doctor, my mom's theory, y'all, is that he has something to do with it, or that he's just not helping, because y'all, the facts that people had, the evidence that people have, it's really no evidence, it's just like theories about this. But the reason why is because he's the number one suspect. He was the last person that allegedly saw her, and she would they only have his side of the stories. And the website I'm getting this from is on Medium. I'm going to show you guys the other one. They have all his stories. They have the searches. We're going to talk about it all. So let's go and start this, y'all. But let me go and say, this is a beautiful woman. She has so much going for her, and it's just so sad that it all got taken away so quick. And y'all, when nighttime hits, stuff be scary, but people go missing daylight. And also need to say, there were no cameras. She didn't have her phone with her. She didn't have her pager. There was nothing to track. And this was also, my mom said, this is also the 90s. It was not normal for people to just go off. More like the 70s or 80s. During the 70s and 90s, I kind of heard that it was more, people were more free. You know, you could hitchhike back then. You can't do that now. And that's because, you know, they had serial killers in the 70s and the 80s. And I think after watching that Toolbox serial killer thing, that's when hitchhiking got kind of scary, and you can't do that no more. But, you know, people, They still risk it now, but you don't see people hitchhiking now because there's so many crazy people out there. But people were more free in the 70s and 80s, and then 90s. My mom was like, it's not normal for you go to the mall with your friends and you go home. It's not normal to just like be on your own out there. So I feel like it's crazy how they always say people like wander off, but I'm like, it's not normal for her. She seemed like she was a family person. She was about to graduate, ready to go to medical school, like a pre-med, going to college to go study pre-med. Who would give that all up? So it's interesting how they always say people go missing or run away. Why would she run away? She had no reason to run away. Just because her parents were overprotective, I don't think that was it. But the reason why I also believe the doctor has something to do with it, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to get to the other page on why and stuff, but I'm just going to say it. I believe it because she was last seen at his home. He's the only suspect. I believe that they should have stayed with. This was her boss. She worked there for a year. She went there and her last call was at 8:15, and he says she left at 8:30, but nobody else can like attest to that. Where was his wife during all this? Because he was married. I don't know if he still is married. And his son, they all three lived there, young son, but they only have his word on everything. So it's a lot of mystery to uncover and to figure out what happened. Nobody knows what happened. So the fact that you can see why this case has been unsolved and nobody's like helping. So the mom is like, she says she's telling her story every year. 30 years she's been doing this, y'all. So hopefully one day she could get closure. So I'm going to go to the next article, y'all, because this is where we're going to really get into it, okay? So before we get into this, let me go and also say, because I'm going to go right to the timeline, because at the beginning of this article, y'all, they basically said what the other article said, tells you the background of her and basically the overall, the person of interest, which is Dr. Amos, okay? So need to know that the mother did have to wait. And after she waited, her brother, her sons went to school, they still reported her missing, and that's when the search actually started. She didn't show up to band, and her brother noted that nobody saw her, and that's when they actually was able to report it and get this started, because it was not normal for her. And the mother, by the way, she overslept, and the last call after she called at 8:15, that's the last time she ever talked to anybody, allegedly. And the doctor said she left at 8:30, signed up like she normally do. The mother accidentally overslept, woke up at 1 a.m. Her dad didn't see her in the room. That's when they panicked. That's when they called 911. That's when they said they have to wait 24 hours. Next day school, she's not there. Now we're about to get into the timeline, okay? Because this article has it all, guys, okay? This is on medium.com. I'll put actually, let me go on and do this now because I forgot her name. The article is written by Jaden Harlow, okay? This is on the Missing Found podcast. So I'm going to share the screen with you guys because the timeline is really, really important, okay? That they know of, okay? I'm going to share the screen with you guys. And this is actually this is what they had in the missing in the newspaper, y'all. People don't see newspapers no more, and I'm pretty sure they would put them in there if they did. I don't know if they still do, but everything is online now, or you get an Amber Alert. But that's just interesting to see that in like a newspaper, okay? So let's get into this, okay? So the timeline, they recapped what they had so far, when she was last seen, spoken, and when things went quiet. So May 9th morning, she attended school. That afternoon, she was picked up from school by her mother and was taken to Dr. Amos' house, who was her employee, and she worked at the home office on top of the garage. This was all attached to the home, okay? His wife and his son did live there, and I do believe his wife was home at the time, but they don't talk much about the wife. It's all about him. So I'm curious if the wife had anything to do, if she allegedly had anything to hide or knew anything. So that afternoon, her mother picked her up, took her to his home so she could start her shift. It's not clear if Clea has set a set schedule or if she would work as available. Late afternoon, early evening, he returned home because he was going and they had to wait, and the mother called her to tell his wife called the mother to say that he's home now, and that's why they went at 5 o'clock. I wouldn't. I think they he should have just realistically, if he was going to be late, then he should have just let her clock out, just not come in that day. So when his wife said that she's home at around 5 p.m., her mother Laurel drops Clea off at work. She watched her walk into his home. This is the last time she set eyes on her daughter. After 5 p.m., Laurel and her sons, Clea brothers, attended her youngest son's baseball game. So they say that there's no exact time concluded, but they can assume that the game ended around 6:30 through 7. They say this because her mother mentioned at the game that they went home and the boys were just hanging out reading the book. Around 8, Clea called home to see if anyone has called her. Both her brother and mom picked up the phone. Her brother told Clea that she didn't have any calls. She says she will call back when she's ready to be picked up from work. The call ended and the second call never came. So it was 8:15 to be exact, guys, okay? At around 8:30, sometime after the call, her mother had took what was supposed to be a nap, but she ended up oversleeping past the time to pick up Clea. She never called home, so her mother can leave. Clea never called home, so her mother can leave out to pick her up. Her shift usually ends at 8:30. May 10th, the next day, Willie arrived home, which is the dad, around midnight, checked on the children and noticed Clea was not in her room. He woke the mother up and asked if she was still at work. A few minutes before 1 a.m., the mother calls Dr. Ammo's office. He answered on the first ring. He says she left at 8:30 p.m. and confirmed this by checking the time sheet. Now, I don't know if that's weird. Some people think it's weird to answer the phone on the first ring. It's really not. I do that because I like talking to people. Nope. People, you know what? My family does that. They don't actually. I answered on the first ring, but I kind of let it ring now because I'm like, let me stop acting like I'm not busy. So I answered on the second ring now. But I feel like some people thought it was suspicious if he was just like waiting by the phone, like anticipating her call. Maybe he was. We don't know. Nope, I already said May 10th. Tuesday morning, school day. That's when they reported she was not in, I'm not going to say it again, she was not in class, guys, or not in school. They attempted to file a missing report, but they had to wait the full 24 hours, which would be at 5 p.m. 5 p.m., the mother files a missing report. She expressed that it was not taken seriously enough. And that would make sense because, 90s black women goes missing. They just think it's a normal thing. I don't know why they think it's normal. I'm like, anybody who go missing, it should not be normal. They should really take this stuff seriously. But yeah, I've seen so many cases where they just act like they don't care. I don't know what it is. Like, why would you be a police officer or detective if you're not going to take your job seriously enough? So May 11, Dr. Amos left Pine Bluff and went to a neighboring city to check on some business for the daycare that he provided food for. May 12th and 13th, he left, and that is him right here, y'all. He probably still most likely looked like this. May 12th, 13th, he left the state to take care of more business. After that, things went fuzzy, but his actions sure didn't. So this is his story, okay, y'all? They say he changed his story about 3 times now. When people do that, it is weird. But, it's been so long. I think when they actually questioned him the first time, if this was changing his story the first time, now that's weird because I'm like, did you see her walk out or did you not? And they only have his side of the story. And I think they questioned him again in 2012, but that was also that's a big jump. That was like, 13 some years like afterwards. That's like hard to is it like 13 years? Probably. It's like that's also hard to really pinpoint, but he did change his stories. That's the important part of this. So as told by Dr. Larry Amos, that's his full name, guys, Dr. Larry Amos, story 1, he said Clea left at her normal time, 8:30 p.m., and she left in her ride. What this means is that Clea left with someone in a car. She got into the car and she rode off with whoever was in the vehicle. Story 2, he said Clea looked out the window 2 or 3 times like she normally does. He heard the garage go down but didn't know who she left with. Clea did not inform him or his wife that she was leaving like she normally does, so the wife wasn't home. Okay. Story 3, his wife gave Clea a peach pop and she left. They offered her popcorn, but she refused the popcorn. She preferred the soda or pop, as they called it. I don't get why would that be a reason. Why would that even be a, I guess if she was waiting, maybe it's like if she was waiting for somebody, but why would they have to say that? I don't know, why that's just weird to me. Why would they have to say what she ate or something? Y'all, these missing people, like when a missing case, you got to look at literally every little thing. As you can see, there are several different scenarios as Dr. Amos presented. The common denominator of all three stories that she left from his property. And this is the family, y'all. This is how they do it. They've been doing it for 30 years, releasing balloons, have her posters everywhere. So the search, let's get into the search, y'all. Okay, let's talk about it. Very early into the investigation, there was a search in Dr. Amos' house and a local ground search, and nothing came of it either. They searched the woods, brought in cadaver dogs, and nothing. Not one thing brought up anything remotely close to alluding to where she was, or any sign that she has been there or brought in the woods or near them. The woods were checked since the area they lived in was surrounded by heavily wooded areas. The search always remained local. I don't know if this element alone speaks volume of the fact that the search was kept local or says absolutely nothing about without saying too much. True. In the beginning, her case wasn't taken seriously enough. In fact, law enforcement considered her a possible runaway. This is typical in cases that are amongst black and missing. Yep. They always do that. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like they just think teenagers rebel and want to run away, or they choose to run away. I don't know what's that about. And it's weird because I'm like, not everybody runs away. Now we're gonna talk about the curiosity, y'all. It's all about this one man because this is his home. He was the last one to see her. That's why we're focused just on him, because that's the only person they have in interest. Okay, y'all. So let's get back to it. The curiosity of Dr. Amos. So he has been and is known to be well observant around his home. So it's quite peculiar. I cannot say that word. For him and to not have seen her leave, see who or what vehicle picked her up, and see who left. He has gone on record to say that he has no more responsibility to Clea than he would any employee. They say that statement alone directly communicates the extremely lack of care for someone disappearing seriously from his residence. Because of this, I wonder, this is the person who wrote, I wonder why. Does he already know where she is, or what happened that night? They also say you have to ask yourself, and that was her high school graduation photo, really beautiful. Oh, it's so 90s, y'all. You know what? It's not like clear. I like that though. It's so pretty, y'all. It's just so much. They say you have to ask yourself what could be the reason of pushing him further away from the case. Could it be to protect himself from any accusations, understandably, or could it be he knows more and wants to completely separate himself from the case? Odd behavior. I did hear this, that they said he was acting very odd. I do know there was a lot of stuff done on his property. Now, when this happens, that's how my head immediately goes to, what are you trying to hide? But I'm like, at the same time, it's your property. You can do whatever you want on your property. But when somebody goes missing from your home, the number one thing is going to come to, like, what are you trying to hide? Now, I'm going to say this before we even read all this. A lot of stuff, this man was really weird. It was stated, and I'm pretty sure they're going to say it. It was stated that he was taking down flyers because my mom remembered this. She said it was posters everywhere of this girl. Like, they had just flyers everywhere. You know, they don't put up flyers no more. Everything is online. But they had flyers all over the neighborhoods. My mom remembered that. And there was said to have been that the doctor was paying people to take down these flyers. Why would somebody do that? Also, I think I need to go and note, I'm pretty sure going to say it too, because it is all on here. It is noted that he allegedly, actually, I think they said this is actually true, that he bought just about every property near his home. Now, what is that? If it's true, why would he want those homes? If he rent them out to people, and like I said, this could all be nothing. He could probably just be a good businessman, but he has been in his home. Is it normal? You know, normally people move if you're this hated in the community. Like, everybody hates this man. When I say the number one hated man in Pine Bluff, y'all, it's him. Everybody still blames you for a murder and that nobody knows what happened to this girl. They just know she left your residence last. And for him to stay there is weird, I think, because I wouldn't stay there. I'm not about to be hated for like 30 freaking years, and I go get my mail and somebody throwing like paper at me that was like a missing person flyer. I'm not gonna stay there if I didn't do anything. I just think that's interesting that he stayed there. Also, there has been a couple of renovations done on his home, guys. He had 9 renovations done on his home since then. Now, the interesting thing about this is that the renovations are not on the outside of his home. He didn't add, it don't look like he added anything. The home still look the same to this day. He added like renovations done inside the home, but nobody knows of what. They know he had 9 renovations done, and I'm gonna read this with you guys when you guys see a really dark and most likely the most important part of this, but it's still a legend, okay? But I know the a contractor did say something, but I believe that he won't allow anybody to search his home anymore. I understand it's his property, and maybe that's the reason he's not leaving. Who knows? So let me go get back to it, y'all. This is a really interesting, like really crazy case though, okay, y'all? It's just so much. So his behavior, they said during the searches that were conducted, the Hall family and the other local would place missing person flyers, which I said. They would hand flyers out, hang them along with bowls. The flyers and bowls were placed along throughout the community and even on power poles. The family noticed that some of the flyers were removed. A family friend one day saw Dr. Amos physically removing the flyers from off the public street. Once the family witnessed it, she immediately called the mother. It was also found out that he was actually paying neighbor's son and his friends to remove them. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? Why would anybody do that? So yeah, that's weird. And this is his home down here, guys. That is the where you see the windows at the bottom, that's the garage, and that's his office is on top. So, as stated from the mother in her interview on Real Talk with Tamara, she mentioned something that prior to Clea going missing, Dr. Amos would park his car in his driveway while his wife parked her car in the garage. However, once she went missing, things changed. Dr. Amos began to park his car in the garage and his wife's car was parked in the driveway. There isn't something that I can confirm, but it's stated that the mother, she kept in her mind if he was trying to hide some, who knows. You know, it's interesting what you notice, you know, once you see stuff, because her mother dropped her off every day. So, and she's been working there for a year. So yeah, you pick up on those small details, but who knows, y'all. So this is also a picture like what people look like when they was always out there when they're searching something, y'all. It's just, they say it nearly took 20 years, 18 to be exact, for law enforcement to gather probable cause to obtain the search warrant. And I think that's crazy. It should have been immediate search warrant. She was last seen in this home. So I don't know why it took so long. I'm like, she was last seen here. And the only thing they got to go by is like him saying she left. Who knows if she left or not? So I think that's how I seen a clip from the mystery, like it was on Unsolved, and the officer did say a lot of stuff was messed up back then, evidence and stuff, and that they had a lot of stuff like that wasn't going right, that they weren't following protocol. So a lot can happen in that. Actually, everything can happen in like 18 years. But they started to search 2 weeks after she went missing. A lot of things can happen in that that amount of time. So yeah, just bad in general. They should have immediately, you know what they would do now, they would immediately go check those people, like check that man home. I personally think they should bring in cadaver dogs, smell stuff more likely like soon, but if it's been this long, they need to bring like UV stuff when you can look underground. I've seen a lot of like crime stuff, y'all, and like the new technology they have, which you can find bones. And I studied bones like in school, and I was still thinking about forensic anthropology, y'all, because even this case has been making me think, and I really want to do it. I'm like, what can you find? You can find a lot. You can find a lot out with bones, and she has distinctive marks that you can figure out if they find her, which they have not. It's just so weird that nobody knows anything, and he's not talking till this day. He's not going to talk. They won't be able to go on their property until he like die, y'all. So it's really interesting, but I'm not saying he is suspect. I know it is. it's all alleged. Who knows? Okay, let's get back into it. We have to get to this point because this is the most important part to me. The contractor and the fact that this have not gone anywhere, y'all. And I feel like I'm all over the place, but I'm trying to stay in order from these articles, y'all. Okay, so let's talk about it. The unforgettable renovations that reeked of a body. If this ain't the most important part, y'all. Okay, so according to the article on Fox 16, it was reported that contractors who were hired to conduct renovations on Dr. Ammo's property in the late 1990s recalled seeing blood splatter on the installation, a horrible smell, and flies surrounding one spot. Now, this isn't something spoken about much, or nor has it been confirmed, so I can imagine that may be why. This is interesting to note because I questioned what they were working on. That was a job they were hired to complete when they noticed the smell. That when they did report the finding, who they reported it to, and where did the claim go? All questions that need answers. This could mean one of two things. It could have been seen back in 1994, or it could be anytime between 1994 and 2012, because that was 2012 was the second time that it was searched. And yeah, she was on Find Our Missing, and they said this report was made public in social media outlets and on the case episode update for Clea on TV One Find Our Missing season 2, and aired on February 25th, 2013. In the second episode, this was the contractor that they said they saw blood. And how did they not take that seriously? Like I said, so much doesn't happen in that amount of time. So much time has passed and nobody knows why. Yeah, that's basically where it ends. The mystery behind this, other small things, that there were two sisters that worked with him and then quit, and he like asked them to find somebody else after Clea went missing to like work for him. Not two people, but one, to go search for somebody else. It's like, I got questions like, why would you want high schoolers? But like, also it's an internship. I still don't like home offices that's in their homes. Where did she go? Who picked her up? Did she have a boyfriend? Like, really? Come on. He was the last person to see her alive. I can't say if he did it or not, but after what the contractor said, I got a high chance that he has something to do with it, or he knows something. He allegedly left after she went missing out of town. It's like, what could have happened? These mysteries, y'all, are freaky. It's like nobody knows what happens, and it's so sad how people just go missing. It's like it should not have happened. With his real estate portfolio, I told y'all this. He still owns his property where she was last seen. He purchased nearly every home property that's surrounding it and rent them out. And that is the picture of the map, guys. I'll also put it up here. That's just what, like they say it's a power move, but it could also mean he's just a businessman. But like, why would somebody do that? Realistically, in people who love crime, they would think that that move would mean he's like trying to control everything. He's trying to hide stuff. He don't want nobody to look at it because he can say if he want to rent it out or not. If he was, y'all, the contractor thing really stuck to my head. If they really found like blood or stuff, that mean he has something to do with her, and that's why he is basically, that's what I would think. He has something to do with the murder. He killed her and like probably stuffed her in the wall. Now renovations. I don't know. That's a dark turn, okay? But who knows? The girl went missing and nobody's seen her. But I really do believe they should like bring in, like, you know, those people who they look up, they see stuff in the ground, you can see what's in the walls, or he dumped their body, one or the other. I don't know. Maybe he had nothing to do with this. I don't believe she ran away. The girl did not run away. She had too much going for her. She was ready to graduate. Everybody loved her. She had good friends, popular, about to go to college. She did not run away. And the fact that they always say black women run away is in itself says a lot. But we don't know what happened to this lady. She was so beautiful, has so much going for her. It's so sad, and it's weird. Like I said, my mom always tell me about this case. I'm like, what is it? Like, what is this? It's creepy. It's creepy that people just vanish out of nowhere. The fact that you could be walking to school and it just vanish. You could walk to work or leave work and vanish. You could vanish at work. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows who. Well, everybody know. They got theories, okay? some of the theories are, like, I'm gonna repeat, that she left with a boyfriend. They only have the doctor saying that she left with friends. Could be, or she left with somebody. It could be somebody could have picked her up and kidnapped her. That's a possibility. But they didn't even say if there's like tire marks. They don't have, like, back then it was really not easy to, it's not easy to like just find evidence, you know. They didn't try as much. I think maybe because it's a black case, and, you know, Arkansas Pine Bluff, I don't know what it was back then. Well, my mom said it was a good time, but just in general, a black case they don't really look too much into. And the officer, like I said on that TV show, he even said that, like, there was a lot of stuff they did not follow through, which they should have. So that just told you that they don't really care that much. So yes, he is the doctor is the number one suspect. She, like, I don't understand this. They was last seen in his home. Well, the girl was last seen in his home. She allegedly left from his home. He said, like, he didn't see nothing. It's weird. Then what does his wife have to say? She was there. Like, there's, like, what is this mystery? There's also allegedly, she said that she told the mother, like, Clea mother, that this is his wife, okay, the doctor. His wife told her mother that he was abusive. So all this stuff coming up, and you just automatically got to think that he has something to do with it. It's weird. It's weird. Why didn't he want to help? Why is he paying people to take down flyers? People who do that are guilty. What do you hate? What are you trying to, like, what is the problem? This girl worked for you for a year. You have a close relationship, where you would think you would have a close relationship with her. She's like your only administrative worker. So yeah, a lot of mystery behind this one, y'all. I wanted to talk about this. I was like, how am I going to talk about this and, like, do my research? So that's why I shared the screen with y'all, because there's so much information. Last call was 8:15 p.m. That's so sad. And that's the last time she talked to her mother. So much stuff could happen. I always wonder what would have happened if her mom would have drove over there at 8:15 and told her, like, waited for her. She most likely would have just came outside and said, oh, I'll be back. And then I feel like nothing would have happened. And that's so creepy to think about. You know, I think when you think about stuff like that, or if you was a mom, if you thought like that, you would blame yourself, and you should not. We're looking at about 5 hours. That's a long time for something to happen. It's just between that, and that's when he called and said she left at 8:30. So a good 5 hour window. So much can happen, y'all. But he said she left at 8:30. Who knows? I don't know. It's creepy. Everything is creepy when stuff go unsolved. But I really do want to talk more about all these missing people. So I think I'm going to be doing a lot of black women cases, y'all, because that website, Our Black Girls, it's sad. So many people just go missing out of nowhere and nobody thinks about it. And cold cases are, you know, surprisingly, they are doing a lot of more cold cases, and they are getting solved, a lot of stuff being found. I personally believe that they should look on his property more, look at the ground, dig stuff up, look at those renovations he had. But he's not letting nobody on that yard. He's not letting nobody on that yard until he pass away. Then they'll have probable cause, unless the family stay there. It's a big home. Anything could have happened. So what do y'all have theories about this? What do we think? Have y'all ever heard of her? Cleashindra Hall. She was 18. Disappeared May 9th, 1994. So sad. So heartbreaking. Should not have happened. She had so much going for her. Going to Tennessee State University. Going to be get into their pre-med program to go study to become a pediatrician. She had an internship lined up. She had it all. Valedictorian. She literally had it all. Her life was going to be great. And then it was all taken away from her. And then just went cold. How do people get away with stuff like this? How do people kidnap or murder somebody and get away with it and leave nothing? But like I said, back then evidence was different. They didn't have the tools to figure stuff out quicker. They also just didn't care, because, you know, black women, black people in general, they just don't try that much. And back then it was really like that. They didn't really look at cases. I've heard so many black cases like this when they always just say they ran away, or they just stop looking, or just a lot of black cases go cold. And I am going to talk about a lot of mystery cases, y'all, okay? Just know that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you never heard of her, you heard of her now. Her name was Cleashindra Hall. I will put up another picture. She was so beautiful. This should not have happened, and I really hope her mother gets closure one day. Till this day, she still talks about it. She still go on the news. They release balloons every year, and it's a big family gathering. Grandmothers are out there and everything. Actually, my mom, when we go down to my grandmother's house, when I go down there next weekend, my mom's gonna go show me his house, and that's creepy too, because I'm like, what if I see him? But you can take pictures of people home. You can walk down the street and record. I'm gonna go see it. I want to go see this home. So yeah, on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at IamTatianaGreen. Turn on your notifications, and I will see you guys on the next video. Which I did change the bio. Let me kind of say this: I am a true crime reactor now. I love it. I'm reacting to true crimes now, like different crimes and mysteries now. That's what this is. I'm excited. I'm happy. I love it. Okay, I have changed it. Who knows what'll happen later on? But so right now, I'm focusing on crimes. Okay, guys. Like I love talking about this stuff. It's like I've been getting more into it. I'm happy that I finally get to talk about it and people have opinions. That's the whole point. But yeah, what do you guys think about this case? Did I jump the gun? The reason why I keep saying possibly, I keep on trying to say possibly, allegedly, because she was last seen in his home. They only have his story. You have to say that he has to be a suspect, or at least probably, like, come on, he got to be part of something, or he's just not telling them nothing. But I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.